And remember, the White House also, according to sources that were there for this meeting, they also said they were being pressured not to look in to this. But remember, whoopsie, we're not talking about Joe Biden. I don't care what he did. What happened to my and your $1.8 billion? Why did you put it into this bank run by this guy who was totally corrupt, and then who said, he's not so bad, let him into America? After he took or lost, where did I put that $1.8 billion? Must have left it in his other jacket. We don't want to talk about that? You know, it's funny because one of the things they're saying is that Donald Trump pressured them to look in. What these guys are doing is they're pressuring them not to look at this. But now you've heard the story. Biden, forced the removal of Ukraine's general prosecutor. His name was Viktor Shokin, okay? A bad guy. Everybody says bad guy. But he was investigating a Ukrainian company that Biden's son was involved with. We all heard both sides of the story. Biden claimed what he did was purely based on Shokin's corrupt conduct and nothing to do with this. This is something that's probably worth looking at. This is a document of the sworn statement of the guy Joe Biden got fired that was recently obtained by the investigative journalist John Solomon. John Solomon is an award-winning investigative journalist that for 30 years worked for the Associated Press, the Washington Post, and the New York Times. He was fine then. He's outed people on both sides of the aisle. But here's what Shokin states. He said when he was fired, there had been no complaints about his work, and that Biden never specifically accused him of any criminal offenses. He then goes to say on the record in a sworn court statement, and I want to quote the paragraph, "The truth is that I was forced out because I was leading a wide-ranging corruption probe into Burisma Holdings, a natural gas firm active in Ukraine, and Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, was a member of the board of directors. I assume Burisma, which was connected with gas extraction, had the support of the Vice President Joe Biden because his son was on the board of directors," end quote. Now, this is the relationship and power that the Obama administration had over Ukraine. Why? Because we were dumping money. And it was Joe Biden and Barack Obama that were the sugar daddies. Shokin, their equivalent of our Attorney General, said that Obama was, quote, telling the heads of the Ukrainian law enforcement system how to investigate and whom to investigate. All of this is fact. All of this is backed up with solid reporting, with actual documents. No conspiracy here. These are the documents. But something else happens, okay? At the same time the Black Ledger comes out, Barack Obama decides to announce that there's a new ambassador in town, a new sheriff, and she's going to clean up this town. I'll tell you that right now. She decides to do a couple of things, okay? Lysenko, remember, he's the guy who replaced the corrupt guy. He's actually now sworn in. He's been a temporary guy, but he's now sworn in as the guy we all trust. Except there's a problem, okay? Because he still wants to investigate the missing money. So the new ambassador comes in and she calls Lysenko in for a meeting. And she says, look, there's some people that you just can't prosecute, okay? You can't prosecute people. You can't, well, we don't know the names of the people. They were unnamed Ukrainians. But also, you can't prosecute or look into anything here whose the vice president's son works for, and John Kerry's son is involved. And you also can't prosecute these people. Why? $1.8 billion, gone. Millions of dollars, gone. Wait, what? This is the U.S. ambassador, the brand new one? She comes in, the first thing she does is call him in and says, you have a hard line. None of this. And there's some people too, we don't know who they are, some people too, that you also can't prosecute, and they're Ukrainian citizens. Wow. Oh. She also does one more thing. Late 2016, she says, no visas for you, because he still has prosecutors looking into all of these things. And he just wants to get to the DOJ and our Attorney General. So they pack up all of their briefcases with all kinds of papers, and they come up with a few things that they just want to talk to the DOJ and the U.S. Attorney General, because remember, they're partners. These guys are partners with the FBI, wedding bells. So we should be able to communicate, right? She says no. There were about 5 or 6 things that they wanted to cover. They wanted to expose that the DNC and Ukrainian officials were gathering dirt on Trump. They wanted to talk about the misappropriation of $7 billion of your money. They had Ukrainian officials admitting to influencing the U.S. election. They had records showing Burisma sending $3 million to Hunter Biden. They had Biden pressuring Ukraine to fire Shokin, because we remember, well, that damn Donald Trump, he pressured another government. They didn't care about this one apparently either. And U.S. officials interfered in the prosecution of cases in the Ukraine. This guy wanted his people to bring these things to our DOJ and our Justice Department, and Barack Obama said no. Well, he didn't. She did, by not giving any visas. No soup for you.